Hi, people. This is DJ.
This is Ish.
And this is
Season
season 3
3
of
Pero
Let Me Tell You.
I got a drink in my hand. I'm ready, motherfucker.
It's actually really good.
It is good. Imagine if you had mixed it with jupiña.
No,
Jupiña margarita.
anything with guava is so good.
I know, that's why we're Cuban.
And there's so many people who don't even know what guava is.
Yeah, they're communists.
Oh my god. Well, on that note,
Because everything starts or ends with communism.
welcome everybody to episode 98.
98. And we're coming to you, ladies and gentlemen, live from fabulous downtown Westchester.
At the Croqueta. So everybody give it up for our episode 98. Thank you. We have
I love that the lady who just walked in thinks it was all for her.
welcome to
And maybe it was.
And it's a round of applause.
Maybe it was.
But we are at one of our favorite hangouts in Westchester. Well, in Miami. The Croqueta. Not only do they have a awesome product. Their croquetas are the best. We've talked about them before.
Well, they won Croqueta
They won
Palooza.
Croqueta Palooza, but they're just such nice people.
They really are.
And they're going to be on a little bit later.
A little bit. First, we're going to continue enjoying of their delicious drinks. This slushy is insane.
Yeah, it is. It's really good. I mean, I'm telling you, it has guava.
And well, mine also has jupiña. It's a jupiña margarita. Two things I didn't think should go together, and now I would kill someone if they told me I could never have it again.
I know, right? So, because this is our I feel we've had a few croqueta themed episodes.
Well, we're from Miami.
We had the Croqueta Palooza, the episode where we talked about hosting Croqueta Palooza, and then Croqueta Palooza.
we talked about
the
being
year
at
before,
Croqueta Palooza
and
and
eating croquetas at Croqueta Palooza.
And then we've had people over while we ate croquetas.
So I wanted to take it a little bit back, since our motto is listen, laugh, and learn, to talk a little bit about the history of the croqueta.
Okay, are we going back to 1700s France?
Actually, it was 1898.
Damn it, I'm always off by 1,000 years.
A millennia.
A millennia. Always.
So yes, the croqueta comes from the croquette. Oh my God, they're serving us chicharrones.
Oh, and that is like your kryptonite.
Yes, it is, and it's extra.
Oh my
crunchy.
God, there's like 4 bowls in front
And
of
it's
us.
extra crunchy. So let's see. Hold on, you might hear the crunch.
We're gonna have to crunch, guys. Sorry.
Okay. That was amazing.
It's like ASMR gone wrong.
This is not an ASMR episode, although it can be.
It's absolutely delicious, guys. If you all want some chicharrones.
So, the croqueta was invented in 1898 in France, and it was something that was very high end. And are you okay there?
I am. I'm trying not to chew into the microphone because I was just holding un chicharrón for ever.
So from there.
Oh,
we
you
dropped the
damn it!
chicharrón.
One lost.
Man down. From there, it traveled around the world,
Okay.
and the recipe traveled around the world, and obviously each country kind of added their own thing. Mm-hmm. But
Which country added heat?
well, I mean, depending on their whole thing, but internationally, the most famous croqueta is the Cuban croqueta.
Is it really?
It
Not even
really
from
is.
Spain? Because they
No,
love croquetas in Spain.
They do, but the
But
thing,
it's different. Como redondito, like they're little circles.
they are, and they're made from jamón serrano,
Well,
whereas here's
I mean,
a little bit
hello.
different. But it's a Cuban croqueta. The Cuban croqueta and the Puerto Rican croqueta, as always, are virtually the same thing.
2 feathers of the same bird.
It's just, in Puerto Rico, they dip their croquetas, whereas Cubans, we're
In
not
what?
much in different sauces.
Oh, okay.
Excuse me.
The
Cubans,
chicharrón was
we're
on
not
the
much.
wrong- the
We're
wrong
not much. The wrong tube. We're not much of dippers.
You know we're not. We like things to soak. Mm-hmm. We'll put it in un mojo for a week, but we won't dip it in something.
I know. So it's actually the most famous one. What I find really interesting is, and I don't know if when you've talked to your white or American friends,
It's always
that
a topic of conversation.
they have to them the croqueta is they think of the croquette, like a salmon, escúchame a mí.
Wow,
It's
we
total
are Miami.
A salmon croqueta, or like a crab croqueta. You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't see it as like we do, and
Like something you have at like a party.
no, but what
Made of
I
ham.
try to explain to them is that croquetas are such a regular part of
Oh,
our
totally commonplace.
Of what we eat. It's,
Yeah.
Whether it's a birthday party, a special occasion, breakfast, lunch,
A random
there's,
ass meeting.
sandwiches. There's a whole sandwich that's based on a croqueta.
Yes, the croqueta preparada,
the
which
croqueta preparada.
I would be remiss if I did not say that here at Dos Croquetas they have an arepa preparada.
Oh dear,
Yeah.
Venezuela and Cuba come together.
Come on.
Oh my God, arepas are so good.
And it's way better than the last time Venezuela and Cuba came together, which just resulted in horrible government.
when they thought we
Yeah.
do a union.
Yeah.
But anyway, but people don't realize like how like what a staple the croqueta is to like everything we eat. And how like
it's funny because it does kind of revolve around the croqueta.
yeah, and how it's a snack and it's like, oh, let's go have some croquetas, And to like other people, it's like, what? It's
Well,
like,
a friend of mine from New York, him and his husband just recently moved down to South Florida. They're up in Fort Lauderdale. He's originally from Minnesota. And he already has told me, he's just like, how did I live my life without croquetas? And they're not even in Miami. They're in Fort Lauderdale, and they're already extolling the values of the croqueta.
the thing is that I think that even a bad croqueta is good.
Well, at the end of the day, it's still fried.
Well, no, because there's a lot of fried things that aren't good, but like even like a bad croqueta, like there's places that I go to that have like the worst croquetas, and they're still like good.
At the end of the day, it's a croqueta.
Yeah,
Right.
they're still like good, but yeah. So that's a little bit of the history of it, but we're gonna be speaking to the croqueta family in a little bit,
Vicky and Alec about Dos Croquetas in particular.
and how they managed to win Croqueta Palooza.
Yeah, no small feat in Miami. 'Cause
Yeah,
if you
I
win-
know.
If you win like best croqueta in like Topeka, Kansas, well, what's the competition?
Yeah, I know, right?
Good. Who cares? But here in Miami,
No, but at Croqueta Palooza this year, there's what, like 25, 30 different entries?
I think you're being conservative, but yes.
And they were all good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Not a bad
like-
one in the bunch.
Yeah, they were all amazing, and I was like, man, I wouldn't know what to do.
Some of them were by former guests of ours, like
Exactly.
Chef Eileen and Chef Chris.
Exactly. So, anyway, so there's something I actually want to bring up because I saw it in the news today, and it's certainly something that's in our demographic. So next month, March, it will be 25 years that Selena was killed.
Already?
25 years, March
Wow.
31st, 1995. I remember I was going to the fair, and
I don't know where
or
I was,
went to
but-
the fair that day, and so it's going to be 25 years, and here 25 years later,
That's so crazy.
They're going to do a whole concert of her in
Texas, in
in,
Houston, Astrodome.
it's either in Houston or in San Antonio, but they're going to do a whole concert of her, similar to the one they did when it had been 10 years
Right.
since she died. And they're doing like a mini series
Yes, for Netflix. Yep.
for Netflix. So, all these things. How many people here are Selena fans?
Selena fans?
So she still has like a huge fan base.
I mean, she's
You know.
she's the definition of gone but not forgotten.
Right. So I guess what I want to talk about is what do you think it is about her that has endured and so many years, like a quarter of a decade at this point, has endured all this time and continues to influence people? Because as we knew who she was, but in the
Right.
large scheme of things, white America didn't know who she was.
There are probably pockets that still don't.
Even in Spanish music, she was very big within Tejano music.
Claro.
But in the whole spectrum of Spanish music, she was kind of on her way up.
She was known but not known.
Right.
Like people were like, "Oh, I've heard of her."
Like I remember when Amor Prohibido came out, which that was like her last album.
That was her biggest.
That was Like I remember her like being La Reina del Carnaval that year and being
That's right.
on Sábado Gigante, and she was like at the she was already a star, but she was like at the brink of like
Bigger.
that superstardom.
Right.
So what is it that you think about her has like endured so long?
Well, I think there's something definitely to be said for, unfortunately, the fact that she was killed, because I think that makes you. There's a
Killed or died young?
Well, she was number one.
Hold
She
on
was.
while I crunch this crunch.
Yes, feel free. Go on and crunch. Darian is crunching a chicharron. While she did die young, so that is obviously... But there's so many people who die young who nobody cares about. It sounds horrible to say it that way, but it's the way she died, the violence, the fact she was killed. There's a bit of that, the story behind it. I mean, she had it behind the music, for God's sake. There's... That lends itself to that, legacy or cementerio, that, what could have been. And there's also the fact that she wasn't a total bitch. Right? Because never underestimate the power of personality. The fact that she was, I mean, again, we didn't know her, but for all accounts, she was likable, she was personable, she was approachable, she seemed like a real person. That also makes it a bigger loss, because if it's somebody who, I mean, I'm not going to say this, I'm going to say, if Naomi Campbell passed away tomorrow, people would be sad, but I mean, oh well, at least nobody gets hit with a phone anymore. You know what I mean? It's so it's the bigger picture.
Well, because look, I was thinking about it when I was thinking about talking about this. Mm-hmm. I was thinking about it, for example, around the time she died, the year before Kurt Cobain died, and I would make an argument, obviously, especially in American culture, that Kurt Cobain was much more famous than she was.
Absolutely.
And when Kurt Cobain died, especially those first few years after he died, it was Kurt Cobain overdrive.
Right.
But I think that 25 years later, while obviously you can't argue the legacy of
Nirvana.
Kurt Cobain, of Nirvana, and what they did and what they meant, I think Selena has surpassed that because...
But there's also something to be said for the fact that she is Latina, where I think there's fewer of those types of icons.
Ours?
Well, there's fewer of those types of icons. I mean, you've got a Kurt Cobain, but you've got Kurt Cobain, you've got Janis Joplin, you've got Jimi Hendrix, you've got, the list goes on and on.
All died at 27.
You've got the list goes on and on of people who died young, Chris Cornell, or, I mean, not at 27, but still, it's, for lack of a better way of putting it, it's commonplace to have that happen with these more global English language singers or celebrities, whereas in the Hispanic world, usually these people die at old age.
Okay.
She didn't, and on top of that, she also didn't die of an overdose. So there's no badness to her death.
Yeah, I think that it's like the lines, the planets aligned. I think that the fact that she was a family kind of act, that
absolutely
she was so nice. She was very approachable. She was very relatable.
Right.
She died at 23. She was a pretty girl. I think all that aligned. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you think, in terms of her legacy continuing, do you think Jennifer Lopez has anything to do with it?
Yes, and unfortunately, I still wouldn't save Selena.
Okay, we'll get that to him in a minute.
We've had this conversation, listeners.
But do you think that the fact that
absolutely
Jennifer Lopez became a huge star because of that movie?
Yes, and Jennifer Lopez has acknowledged the role that movie has played in her fame and continues to...
Right, but...
No, but the fact... So she keeps her in the spotlight.
Right, but what I'm saying is, if Jennifer Lopez would have done that movie, and maybe...
Jennifer Lopez went away 2 years later.
That's it, Jennifer
maybe
Lopez
not.
A couple of years later ran her course. Do you think that would have affected the legacy of Selena? I think it would have.
I think it would have, but the problem is that all we can say is based on what happened and not a what if. But I think it would have.
I think
it's kept it alive.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So some years ago, we were with all of our friends and we were just being really, really silly.
Again, ourselves.
And we were having this. We were playing this stupid game. If you will go back in time, who would you save? Obviously people that were killed or died. Who would you save? And, I was thinking really big picture here, right? So, him and all of our friends, they were like, oh my God, who would I save? I don't know if it was you.
I think it was Ingrid.
Or Marcy or whomever. But one of you said oh, Selena. Would you save Selena? And I think that's when you said...
I said no.
No.
If we save Selena, we don't get J-Lo.
Well, J-Lo already had a career going on.
If Selena doesn't die, we don't get... It's like Highlander. There can be only one.
Okay. Selena was already on her way up, as we said.
Fair enough. But who's to say that J-Lo would have kept on that trajectory?
Okay.
Maybe J-Lo would have just been a footnote
You were too invested already in Jennifer Lopez.
At this point, I'm in with J-Lo.
Right. So,
Like, I've gone to Vegas to see her. Like, I've bought Glow. You know, like, it's an investment at
yeah,
this
it's
point.
an investment.
Yeah.
So it's funny because they kept talking about like celebrities, and I'm like, when it got to me, I'm like, I'm thinking big picture. I would have stopped like Hitler, and the Holocaust.
I
And,
bet everybody would have done
stuff
that.
like that. They were here talking about debating on whether to save, Jennifer Lopez or.
But who's gonna say like, no, I
Selena.
wouldn't stop the Holocaust? Like, who would say that?
You said you would.
Okay, but it's one thing to let Selena die. It's another thing to like let hundreds and thousands of Jews die.
I don't know, but I don't know how we were able to get the Holocaust, Selena,
And
Jennifer
communism.
Lopez
We
in
started
the
off with
same-
communism. It's a gift.
Oh yeah, speaking of communism, did you hear who's the latest person who's getting a Las Vegas residency?
Okay, wait. So communism. Hold on. Sean Penn.
No.
I can't think of any other communists.
Well, he's not a communist. He's an anti-communist.
Pitbull.
Pitbull.
There we go.
Pitbull is getting a Las Vegas residency.
Now, is it a real residency, or is it like when Madonna has a residency and doesn't call it one?
Well, no, it's in Vegas. So if it's in Vegas, it's
a
a
residency?
residency.
Okay.
Even if it's like, 5 shows.
Okay, fair enough.
So what do we think about this? Like Mr. 305 in Vegas.
Listen,
You want to go see him?
I would go see. Absolutely, we'll go see. We'll go see Mr. 305, and I don't know the zip code, the area code is in Vegas.
But you know what's interesting about, like, I actually thought about this.
So, have you ever seen him in concert?
No.
I have, because he, when I was in New York, I went to go see. It was through Univision. He was touring with Enrique Iglesias, and so we went to go see Enrique Iglesias and then Pitbull afterwards. Pitbull was entertaining, but the thing with Pitbull is that Pitbull doesn't have any songs of his own.
Well, that's what I was about to say.
So it was like him rapping, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the disembodied voice of Christina Aguilera would come out. While his dancers were like, going at it. So it's like, well, but maybe he can have Xtina come over from the Experience.
Oh, right.
know,
Or they could do
and-
like a via satellite.
Right, and then
across the
J-Lo
street.
has done Vegas before, so maybe she can swing by. Like, you know what? This could work. If not, maybe Donnie and Marie can help him.
Oh.
I would go see Donnie and Marie.
Me metiste una pata.
You wouldn't go see Donnie and Marie?
Yo, el Danny Osmond. Donnie Osmond ese. Wow.
Ah, mira, no me cae mal. They're Mormons.
She needs to get rid of 5 pounds of
She
hair.
did.
She did?
She's got a bob and she's a blonde now.
Wait, hold on.
Yes.
On the talk, she has
Yes.
a bob and she's blonde now, and then esta otra went gray.
Who went gray?
Esta Osborne.
Oh, she went gray?
Yeah.
Oh, that's real? I didn't know if that was like her going gray.
Oh, I don't
gray
know.
or-
Is it real or is it fake?
Or if she just dyed her hair silver.
Well, whatever. I mean,
Okay.
she went gray. Right? Wow, that's a lot of color changes for the talk.
I know it is.
That boring show. That's why I watched The View.
You know what though? I was having this conversation the other day with Jose. I was like, I don't know if I would want to be on The View as a host. I'd feel it's too much pressure. It's too much pressure.
Well, I mean, it's a different show.
Like
it's a different
the
animal.
talk would be fun. Like I could do the talk.
They all get along in the talk.
Right. And on the real, I would feel so at home.
Yeah.
I still think it's hilarious that that's the one that my mother likes. My mother likes
The urban one.
the most ghetto.
No, what I
lady
love
chat
about
show.
The Real, okay, what I love about The Real, let's talk about this. So you have The View, The Real, and The Talk. So basically, they're similar shows of,
The three demographics,
women sitting around talking, The View is obviously the marquee show. That was the first one,
Right.
the one with Barbara
It's-
Walters.
right.
And The View, The View is very politically
Say what you
relevant.
want, but The
It's
View
very
is-
politically relevant.
Right.
And all politicians go to The View to kind of, mark their place. And it's still, actually, the New York Times
Well, that's right. Recently.
claimed that it's the most important show in politics for
I see it.
politicians to go on. And you would think it was like, Meet the
Crossfire?
Press or whatever. But no, it was The View. What I find hilarious about The Real, is that I get that that's for a more like younger and urban
Absolutely.
crowd. What I think it's great is that these ladies, and I love them all,
They are.
They
They're
go dressed up like if they're going to like the freaking Oscars.
Right. But that's the total. That's very multicultural, shall we say? Because as we all know, you go to a concert for I don't know. The only thing that comes to mind right now is Lilith Fair, and that's the wrong example. You go to like I don't know. Give me like, a regular like I don't know Halsey concert. Jeans, t-shirt, Maybe.
Pero vete a un concierto de Luis Miguel.
De Luis Miguel or de, Beyonce and Jay-Z. See, weren't you telling me that, like, when you have floor seats?
Yeah, there was, like, people in suits.
People were dressed like they were going to prom.
It was, like, the most humid day ever.
Right. That is
because
what
it's
we
funny,
do. We dress up.
The other day I was watching the reel, y sale esta Adrian, and she had like these huge earrings on and like her hair done and a gown, and I'm like, is this like the Oscars edition of the reel? Or is it just like, Tuesday?
What's the phrase in Spanish? Is it mejor muerta que humilde?
And it's funny because at the View they're wearing like, sensible cardigans.
Cardigans. Lots of cardigans and soft pastels. But I also think that Whoopi only owns oversized sweaters.
And even like the set of the reel has like chandeliers.
Oh, no. Yeah. Like the set of The View looks like a Nora Ephron movie. Like the kitchen's in a Nora Ephron movie, but like the reel looks like, it's this close to being a Hype Williams video.
Yeah. So anyway, are we going to go see Pitbull then in Las Vegas?
I say let's do it. I have seen him in concert. He puts on a great show, and
that my opinion about him
are not that expensive in Vegas.
My opinion of him has completely changed.
For the better?
For the better.
Okay.
When he came out, I didn't like him.
Well, when you say when he came out, how far back are we talking? Are we talking
Even
like when he
Cuba
was?
Came out.
But I'm saying we're talking like when he was a straight hood rapper.
Yes,
Okay.
I didn't like him because, and it wasn't even so much personal. It's just that I like kind of hated that was the image that he was giving Miami, and
that thug.
Yeah, and that's the image that people thought Miami was,
right.
And it was very one-dimensional.
Right.
But I actually do like him now because he's kind of, which this obviously comes with success. He's grown up, but, first of all, he does a lot of good to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Indisputably.
The amount of money that man donates and the amount of money, like, school, like he built a school. Like, he built a performing arts school in Little Havana. And, he's very politically active, which I like. He's very woke. And
Which is weird.
He really has put his money where his mouth is, and he's put his influence where it should be. Yeah. And I give him props for that because he didn't need to do that.
Right.
And obviously his image has changed. And it's not that I didn't like his image before and I didn't like the music, because I do like that type of music. I just had a little bit of a problem that, like,
this is what people are taking away from Miami.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mr. 305, this is what Miami is. And it's like, that is certainly a segment of Miami.
But that's not
part
all
of
us.
Miami,
Yeah.
but it's not all of that. But yeah, it's like, wow, he has his Las Vegas residency. Que tenga Gloria Estefan hasn't done a Las Vegas residency.
Who was I looking at the other day that I was like, I don't know why they haven't done a Las Vegas residency. But I feel like I have that thought so often now with so many artists.
Yeah, because now it's a thing.
It's totally a thing. It's absolutely a thing.
But like the residencies now are like weird, because like, to me, a residency, it's like what Celine Dion did. Like 9 months out of the year, you are getting Celine Dion.
Or like what Britney did, where it was a 3-year contract. She performed 2 months out of the year if you really added them up. But it was a 3-year contract.
Because now it's like people go, they perform for like 2 weeks, then they leave, they come back
share,
6 months later.
They share the stage.
Like, is it really?
Sometimes they share the stage with Cher.
She has a residency?
I don't know if she still has one, but she's had a couple. No, she's touring right now, so she doesn't.
Okay. So,
yes.
Bueno, what do you have for me?
So now that we're on the topic of Miami, I figure let's keep it Miami-centric, shall we? Mm-hmm. Did you hear we kind of talked about this a couple episodes ago. There is a real danger of something going missing this holiday season.
From Miami?
Yeah.
Specific to Miami?
Yes.
Pork.
Listen, if we were not going to have pork in Miami this year, there would already be rioting in the streets.
Flan.
You would be rioting in the streets.
I would be rioting in the streets. What?
Santa's Enchanted Forest.
Oh, yes, I heard that.
Santa's Enchanted
Tanta mierda
Forest.
que hablamos, and mira, if it goes away,
we'll be very sad.
We'll be very sad.
I
know it's an issue with the lease.
Because the thing is that obviously it's government property, the Tropical Park. And so what's happening is they have to, because it's a government property, they have to put themselves up for a renewal and a bid and all that stuff. And so I think the last time that they had the last time that they actually went up for the lease was 1992. And now they're going for the bid again. But the thing is that what Santa's is saying is they're trying to create like not a GoFundMe, like a petition, like one of those online petitions, to say you can put the microphone as far as you want. You are a crackling fool. to get people to, I guess, create like a groundswell to see if they can keep Santas for at least this Christmas, because it's up out in March. It's up in March, and the problem is that because of the way the bidding process works, even if somebody else wins it, they may not win it in time to have something happen for the holidays. So we may have actually a year where like Tropical Park is just dark.
Oh no.
Yeah. My question though is to the guys who own Santas, is like, you knew this was coming. I mean, why didn't you start the bid earlier or start negotiating? Start having a conversation or something, But I mean, again, I've worked for government accounts.
Somebody dropped the ball.
Well, I've worked for government accounts before, where it's like it doesn't matter if they love you or if whatever. It's a government account, so it has to go through certain protocols, and you can't come in beforehand. So they're looking to maybe bring somebody in who's going to do something year round, not just in the holidays.
Okay, but are they trying to bid for it again?
They are going to bid for it again, but the problem is that if they don't get it, they have to clear out. And if somebody gets it, they're going to have to bring shit in.
Imagine taking the lights off of all of those trees.
I don't like doing it off of mine, and mine is like a 4 foot
to our listeners who are not in Miami, so Santa's Enchanted Forest is a strip at Tropical Park, which is a very large park here in Miami.
Yes.
That
Probably one of the biggest parks in Miami.
Every year, they do like a theme park there, sort of, with carnival rides and stuff like that. Oh, we're having croquetas.
We are getting croquetas, ladies and gentlemen. Ham and medianoche.
Where's the medianoche?
That's the medianoche. Oh.
So good.
Listeners, our life is great.
Anyway, so it's like a Christmas themed theme park, and it, the whole thing is that it's you go under like a canopy of trees, and all the trees are like lit with different colors and all that. So it's actually very pretty, and it's kind of like a staple of the community. Their theme song is like an earworm.
Santa's Enchanted Forest.
So we always give it a little bit of crap because the prices have gone up. I think it was like $35 this year. And, so we give it crap for that, but it's really been around forever. So it'd be sad to
It's an icon. It really is an icon of South Florida, I would say. And so, I don't know. Again, I would not be upset if there's no traffic on La 40. But,
that and, Jay Byron's and Bernardines. I'm still sad about Bernardines.
You're still sad about Bernardines?
I am.
You and Lauren Hutton.
Why?
Did you remember she was a spokesperson, Lauren Hutton? She's a Miami girl.
I'm as mad about Bernardines as Chicagoans and people in the Midwest are about Marshall Fields.
They probably moved on to their anger now to the Sears Tower, Willits Tower thing, but I get it.
You don't call it that.
We share that anger.
Oh my God, it was so funny because my cousin went to Chicago last month, and she came from Cuba like 5 years ago. But I love her. So my cousin came from Cuba 5 years ago. So in Cuba, she didn't go anywhere because she lived in Cuba. I mean,
it's an island.
It's communism and whatever. What is she gonna do?
Actually, her story is fantastic. We should talk about her story at a later time. But
so ever since she's been to the U.S., like I think she's done the best thing. She's in her early 20s. Her and her boyfriend travel everywhere.
She is living her life.
Like she is living her #living your best life. Like every time that she starts posting pictures on her social media, I'm like, this looks like pictures of like the Chamber of Commerce of like wherever she's going, because like she lives her best life.
She can go anywhere.
So it's funny because she went to Chicago last month, and I even told her, listen, in January it's really cold there, and I gave her a list of things to do, and she did everything on the list, and she tells me, me encantó el Willis Tower, and I'm like, no. I'm like, nope, stop. It's Sears Tower. We don't. And it's funny because in the list of things to do, I put Willis parentheses Sears because I was thinking, right? I was thinking if she's looking this up on Google, right. Or for like the actual name, it's maybe a little hard for her because I know she doesn't know the history of the Sears Tower. But yeah, she was living her best life, so good for her.
Did she have visibility when she went up there?
She did have visibility.
Okay, very important, listeners. As we
so I'm a big. I'm really big into architecture. I'm a big fan of like buildings. I know buildings from around the world, and obviously, if you're into that, the Sears Tower is a big deal. And in 1999, so it was 20 years ago, we went to Chicago, and that was actually my first time in Chicago. And actually, Chicago ended up being, and it still is, my favorite city in the U.S. I absolutely love Chicago. I like it more than New York. I like it more than L.A. But anyway...
have Madonna write a song about it.
And so we go, I wanted to go to the Sears Tower. So when we get to the Sears Tower, they tell us there's zero visibility. So I was like, zero visibility. How bad can it be? Maybe we can't see, Milwaukee. I'm sorry, Wisconsin, or we can't see to the other side of Lake Michigan. How bad can it really be?
Listeners.
When we go up to the 100th, it was floor 101, and the doors open, I start screaming, no! When they meant zero visibility, they meant zero
Not
visibility.
at all.
It looked like the building had been wrapped in
It looked like it had been painted. Like somebody went up there with a roller and just
painted it
the windows white.
And I'm like, no se veía nada. Absolutamente nada. But then again, they did say zero visibility.
No, they did not lie to us.
We just refused to believe that it was zero visibility.
They did not lie to us. But you know who also has not lied to us at all with how delicious their croquetas are? Mm-hmm. Dos Croquetas. Mm-hmm. And so after we come back from these messages from our sponsors, we're going to have Alec and Vicky, the owners of Dos Croquetas, here with us to talk to us about their insanely delicious product, and hopefully we get to eat some more. Man, what the hell, we're going to eat some more.
Yeah, we are.
And how they got started again, because Miami being a city, you find croquetas everywhere, so to really feel like you can do this, you really have to have a certain degree of confidence in your product. And
the ham one, basic ham. So good.
It's so good. It's so good. And not just that, but this turns in, guys, Dos Croquetas, after like midnight, I think, on weekends, it turns into a legit bar. It's the only thing on La Cuarenta that's open at 2 a.m. or until 2 a.m. So we got a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with Alec and Vicky from Dos Croquetas.
Kiddie rides, fun slides, corn dogs, baby hogs. Come on in and don't delay. $5 admission on opening day. The Youth Fair opens March 12th. Get ready for heart-pounding rides, mouth-watering food, shows, and free parking. Get your discount tickets today and save at Sedano's or at fairexpo.com. And if you're 5 and under, admission is free. The Youth Fair on the fairgrounds at Coral Way and 112th Avenue. $5 opening day on March 12th. Visit fairexpo.com.
Oye, mi gente, Ish here. If you're like me, you want a barbershop that offers more than just a shave and a haircut. And I'm here to tell you, Mankind Grooming Services is that place. With locations in Fort Lauderdale and now Coral Gables, Mankind Grooming offers full barbershop and 5-star spa services. They've even got a monthly spa membership that includes a monthly complimentary 60-minute massage. Yeah, that's right, you heard me. A full 60-minute massage. Not 50 minutes like those other places where they kind of do the whole little switch thing on you. I didn't even mention, the bar is fully stocked with craft beer, fine wine, Slim Jim Bloody Marys, and mimosas. Isn't a day of pampering the ultimate in Sunday fun days? Plus, all first-time clients can get 25% off any service. 25%. I'm going to say it again in español. 25%, caballero. So if you're looking for a unique grooming or spa experience, you definitely need to check out Mankind Grooming Services. Visit mankindformen.com today for additional information. Tell them, pero let me tell you sent you.
And we're back.
Yes, we are, listeners, and we are here as promised with the proprietors of the establishment here in downtown Westchester.
I like that's what we're calling it, downtown Westchester.
Well, it is, right? We grew up in this area. This is downtown Westchester. The owners, creators, brains, entrepreneurs behind Dos Croquetas, winners of this year's Croqueta Palooza with the Medianoche Croqueta, which I wish I could convey to our listeners how delicious it tastes.
That's what I was telling them. I'm like, you don't understand. Like, when I first tried it, I was like, I had a moment. I needed a moment to process.
Like you couldn't
the flavors.
It was a medianoche, but it was a croqueta. It was like
what do I do?
Yeah, what do I do? I didn't understand it. I don't know how to do it. Vicky and Alec, thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So, before we start the actual interview, I just want to tell you guys something. We, throughout this podcast, we've been fortunate enough that we've interviewed like a lot of people from the community, their success stories and, how they, made something from nothing. And one of the things that I really, really want to commend you guys on is not only do you make a killer croqueta, but you're really, really nice people. Really, really nice, humble people. Because I can't tell you how many divas we've met along the way.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys are so welcoming, so nice, and that goes a long way. So
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I think that needs to be said.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you make a killer croqueta. That that
Several
helps.
killer croquetas. Several of them.
Because there's nothing worse than a nasty person that does a
Horrible
horrible
croqueta.
croqueta,
I know.
So, with that said, tell us a little bit how Dos Croquetas started and how the original concept where it came from.
So we just hit our 3-year mark as a company in general. The idea started actually more than like 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Really simple. Ready? So I was at Ventanita, right? Like any Miami person would be at Big Boy Ventanita's all my life. And then one day I'm just sitting there waiting for my food, and I hear one person say, "Dame dos croquetas." No big deal, whatever, you hear it all the time. And then like 2 more minutes pass and I hear "Dame dos croquetas y una colada." And then like another couple seconds pass and "Dame dos croquetas y un tostada." And I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? I'm like, wait a minute. People are saying dos croquetas like all the time. Like you say it as much as you say Google.
Yeah. Because really you feel you can't have one.
Right, your minimum is 2. I mean, here people buy like.
I was going to say 2 is
a
being
dozen
very
of them.
conservative.
Yeah, people buy like a ridiculous amount from us.
But you never have one.
No.
You cannot. Who says "Dame one croqueta"? Nobody
No.
says that. So it was like, it was like a burst of lightning. Like I was like, holy shit! Like people say dos croquetas a lot in Miami. Like Miami's like the croqueta capital of the world, right? And then based off that, I looked at the market and I just saw like the only croquetas out there are ham, chicken, or cheese. Nobody's really doing anything interesting in this space.
That's true.
Unless you go to like a super bougie restaurant where they're selling like $18 croquetas, like you get 3 croquetas, right? And then naturally, I look to who's around me, who's in the culinary field with my aunt Vicky. She's a beast. She's been doing culinary excellence all her life.
No. She's making a face like you just
Beast in a
said something
good
that she
way.
doesn't believe. Like, no, you own that, okay? You
Yeah.
own that you're a beast, all right?
Yeah.
She's the number one, the most natural person for me to think about of like who can do this, like who can nail this, because croquetas are incredibly difficult, and I'm sure we'll get into that.
Yeah. We
But I
certainly
told
will.
her, I was like, look, I want to do a croqueta company. Nobody's doing this. Everyone's doing ham, chicken, and cheese. And the first thing she said is no. She's like, no. I'm like, what do you mean? Come on, let's do it.
Oh, on top of the fact that croquetas are super hard to make, it's a labor of love. You have to, it's very time consuming. It's laborious, and I was like, have you ever made a croqueta before? And his response was,
No, of course not.
He just goes to La Ventanita and they exist.
Right, exactly. So many people are like, it just magically comes up, and croquetas are so easily accessible in Miami. So I was like, you want to make a croqueta? Go ahead, make it. Go ahead and make it. He's like, send me a recipe. I'm like, all right. So I looked up a recipe, and I sent it to him, and he called me like a day later, and he's like, can you come and try my croquetas? I was like, oh my god, you did it.
He was serious.
She's like, fuck. He made it.
For real, I'm like, oh shit, okay. So and I went and I tried it, and it wasn't bad. Like it was like, yeah, it's a croqueta.
For a
She's
first
being
timer.
nice.
I imagine there's like the standard ham.
It was a standard
Right.
ham croqueta.
But that was his first time ever making a croqueta?
Right.
Never in my life.
Okay, so I've never made one.
Right, so it was like lacking a little flavor and stuff, But he put forth the effort. He saw how difficult it was. He's like, man, this is a bitch to make. I'm like, yeah, I know, right.
And here you want to open up a whole company of croquetas.
Well, I think you saw like, damn, you know what? He's willing to put that effort into it. Like this kid knows nothing about food, and he's going out there to make the food. Like, let me give him a shot. Like I could not build this without Vicky. There is no those croquetas without Vicky. Period.
Do either of you have like a background in culinary or okay?
I do. I have
okay.
a culinary background.
Okay.
And then I also did catering for many years.
Oh, okay. So you know this world
So I know
and the hardships.
industry. Exactly. So I know I'm not I don't shy away from hard work.
Being
And-
a caterer
and
is no
when
joke.
you
Right.
So when you come here now and you see this establishment, obviously it's amazing. But what I'm curious about is this what you envisioned? Because the croqueta, as you said, maybe not a lot of people were doing it, but at the same time, it was also something very common. Like everybody had new croquetas, or restaurants sell the standard croquetas. So did you from the beginning knew you were going to take like a different angle on it, whether from like the experience, because this is very much an experience, whether from the experience or just like the variety of the product?
Since day one. I mean, like the first thing that we did was we sat down and we said, all right, what type of croquetas do we want to make? Like we didn't look at anything out in the market. Like we wanted to do something completely different. The second step was let's eat everything and anything that's out there, right? I want to know what's up. I want to know who has the best croqueta.
Oh yeah. Can you call me next time you guys want to do that market research? I will definitely help.
Next time I got you.
There were many croquetas eaten in the car. I was like, let's just take them to go, and then we would eat them, and they were just so sick to our stomachs because we were just eating everything inside.
It's all fried too, and
Right.
yeah.
And there's a croqueta in every block in Miami, so.
Something common that we were both very surprised by is that a lot of people add a lot of breading into their croquetas. The reason why you add breading is so you can stretch it, you can expand the masa.
Right.
So you're making more croquetas, but your ingredients are not like you're not getting ham. You're getting a lot of bread and some ham.
Croqueta de pan.
And like ham flavoring, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
And like that was a big light bulb moment for us too, because we're like, holy shit, like we're gonna fuck this game up. Like we're gonna make some amazing croquetas that are not full of bread. Like we're gonna make like you're asking for ham, we're gonna give you pure ham. Like
Well, I mean, typically croquetas were made, you know, in home leftovers. Everything
True.
was like always leftovers. So it's like, you know, you kind of stretch your budget, you make croquetas. But the idea was to create croquetas that, you know, were really quality ingredients so that you're really showcasing the ingredients and not just, you know, just using your leftovers. So we were buying like high-end ingredients and making croquetas with them.
I think that's one of the things from your product that you could tell right away because, as I was saying, I don't want to say there's no such thing as a bad croqueta because they all taste good. But when you taste like a mediocre one, but then you taste like a really good one like yours, you're like, oh, okay, this is day and night here.
Well, I mean, I like to say we're using a lot of really great products, and it's a cleaner flavor. So, you know, we spend more money on the product itself that's going into it. We spend more money on the oil that we fry in. We fry in peanut oil, 100% peanut oil, which is the most expensive oil to fry in.
super expensive.
But it doesn't impart those like really weird flavors that, you know, other regular fry oil does. So you don't blend all the different things that are going in there, and it's just it's a cleaner taste. You don't feel like crap afterwards. You
Right.
know? You can have a whole 6-pack of croquetas and not feel like that, just kind of like gross.
They don't feel like a brick.
Well, we spoke
Right.
about that.
And
like,
we have.
Before we made that, we said, like, look, we're going to do, like, croquetas are all fried. We need to make sure that when you eat them, you don't feel like that shitty, groggy feeling after eating it. And you don't get that here. It's not going to happen. Like, you can eat 6 croquetas without a problem, and you're going to feel clean after. Like, period.
We may or may not have had the flight of croquetas. And guilty as charged, and we did not feel that grogginess. So yeah.
So obviously there was a bit of trial and error involved, like
Sure.
in terms of how to make the croqueta and flavors. So the actual establishment, because this is very unique. There's nothing like this. I've never seen a croqueta bar. How did this come about?
Our fun beginnings. So we started the company, right? So I go ahead and make croqueta, then we come up with the ideas, and then this is where we get our start. So we actually looked around everywhere and anywhere to find a kitchen where we can work out of. There's a lot of regulations, there's a lot of licenses, there are a lot of laws against just cooking in like a random place. You can't do that, especially when you're handling meat. So we started in a humble warehouse. It's a commercial kitchen where we called it a pop-up, and we would literally like sling croquetas in the middle of the night until like 2 a.m. in the middle of nowhere. I am talking about, like, I'm trying to paint the sketchiest location possible. Like, just imagine you're in a super dark neighborhood, no lights,
But
barely any
sketchy
lights in
in
the
Doral,
warehouse.
so it's not that sketchy.
Yeah,
But I mean,
Doral level sketchy.
Right.
Yeah.
we were embarrassed of our
I mean,
location.
at
like,
first we were like, you know, wow, what are we doing? You know, this is like we're out of some warehouse.
I love that.
literally-
Doral sketchy.
I mean, Doral sketchy, really. But Doral sketchy in the sense that you don't drive by and see us. You have to find us.
You have to know where we
You
are.
had to,
Okay.
and many times you had to Google map us because people had no idea.
It was hidden.
Right, it was hidden. So, we did like the little pink lights at night. We did things that we would literally pop up every night. So we would put signage up outside and every night, and then we would take it down every night. So if you don't go during our hours, you would just see like an empty warehouse,
Random
and people were like,
warehouse.
"Hey, I'm trying to find you." I'm like, "Oh, we're not open now." So
wait, so you guys actually were open and like having people come in? I thought it was just delivery.
they didn't come in.
curbside pickup.
There's more.
Oh,
Wait,
okay,
there's
okay.
more.
It literally started like order online on our website, which I built or whatever, using Shopify. And then you can also call us. You can also text us. I'm like trying to get you to buy croquetas anyway. Like
Yeah.
you can do Morse code. I will sell you croquetas. through
Yeah,
Morse code,
croqueta.
right? And then you would literally show up, text us, hey, I'm outside for my pickup, and we would take it to your car. And then little by little, like, I remember Vicky telling me once, hey, like, people want to sit outside. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? People want to sit outside. Like,
In Sketchy
we're-
Doral?
We're in out
Yeah,
nowhere.
I was shocked.
So, literally went to IKEA, bought a couple tables and chairs, and then people started ringing a doorbell now. So you ring the doorbell, I would be, like, rolling croquetas. Vicky's making croquetas. I'm running to the front because I want to make sure
It
customers
was
are
a
getting
big
the order
warehouse
fast.
too,
my
so
God.
we had to like run
Crazy.
from
It was a
one
two-man
side to
operation.
another.
That's
at
it.
the
No, but I'm
end.
sure people were also like, "Coño, there's this like a secret like lair."
well,
like,
It was almost like a
you know?
speakeasy.
Yeah.
It was like a
There was-
speakeasy,
yeah.
yeah.
There was a little doorbell, and the outside said "ring bell for croqueta service." So people would get there, and they would ring the bell, and then we would open the door, like some magical door would open, and people would stand out there and like, I don't know if I'm at the right place. I'm like, are you here for croquetas? And so they were like, I don't know if I'm here for a drug deal or if I'm here for.
What's the password?
Like there was pink lights outside, so I'm like, I'm at a strip club. I don't know where I'm at right now. I'm like, well, did you come for croquetas? And so they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, so you're at the right place. I'm like, we'll be back. We'll be back like in 5-10 minutes. And then people would sit outside and wait in their car, or
We had one fryer. at
we
the
had
time.
one fryer, so we were just running, literally like, oh, we have an order. We would run from one side.
We're like bumping into each other.
We would run from one side to another, just getting the croquetas, frying them, packaging them. We were doing the sauces at the same time as well too. And then we would take it to them, and they were just like, oh, okay, so I'm getting croquetas here. So yeah, so they would have their croquetas, and then they just started telling other people. And then
Are you ready for the magic? Here's the magic. When that one person went, and they like, this is the magic to us. You came, you went to a warehouse, zero signage, sketchy. You rang a doorbell. Some kid with like barely any facial hair comes out, takes your order. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes to get your order. You took your food, and then you came back a couple days later. That right there for us was
Yeah,
a game changer.
absolutely.
We're like, holy shit, we have something. Like, people are willing to come back to this spot.
Yeah.
Like, you're willing to eat outside in the middle of like the warehouses.
Right.
That was the game changer for us, 100%.
yeah, I realized that like when people would come back and then they would bring their friends or they would bring their family and they would say, you have to try these croquetas, and their family was just very skeptical too. When
Where
they
are you
would,
taking me?
Yeah, exactly. And so they would come back and they would try the croquetas, and then they would be like, oh man, I get it. So when people would get it, to me, that has been like the most rewarding thing for me, is making something that was craveable. When somebody would come back 2 and 3 times in the same week, I was like, man, this is awesome.
You're doing something
because
right,
I'm doing
right.
something right. I'm making them happy. I'm making them think about food again. Like I'm always thinking about food, but I'm making that person think about my food and coming back again. So that was super, super rewarding. And like to me, it's like one of the best things ever.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I wanted to kind of mention, because we talked about it a little bit before in this episode, how for us, like Cubans and Hispanics in general, croquetas are such a part of our
Yeah.
of our
Every
culture.
party.
Every party, it's a snack. You could
Right.
have it for dinner. You could have it in a sandwich. But to like a lot of people, like to Americans, it's. I don't know. They know of the croquette.
It's
the croquette.
fancy, 'cause
It's
it's
like
French.
something. You have maybe like a salmon croquette, or like
Right.
What would you explain to somebody, let's say from Milwaukee, who's never understood this concept of a croqueta, in terms of like an everyday snack or meal?
Why it's so commonplace to us.
I mean, it's a fried food. You go out, you leave your house to go eat a fried food. You leave your house to get something that you don't normally get at home, and it's fried, it's crispy, it's warm on the inside. It's like it's a guilty pleasure. It's a comfort food as well too. One of the first things that one of our first interviews, they were asking us, so is it a snack? Is it whatever? I'm like, well, we're trying to, it's more of a meal for us because ours were larger.
Right.
And I was like, you're gonna get full off of our croquetas, but the idea is that it's just kind of like, we have created things that we want to eat. So that's kind of like how we based everything, was making things that we wanted to eat. We were kind of bridging the gap between a bakery, a croqueta that's kind of sitting in a hot box, and a fine dining croqueta that is exactly 3 to a plate, and you're spending a lot of money on this, and they're tiny. They're delicious, but it's more of a fine dining experience. So we're kind of bridging the gap between a bakery and a fine dining experience, making it a little bit more accessible to everybody, but a great quality croqueta.
Right. It's more the traditional croqueta, but the quality is
right.
like...
It's traditional, but not traditional, because the only traditional one that I have is ham.
That's it.
So, but we really, a lot of our flavors were things that we like to eat, and so ourselves, we're very playful. We're joking around all the time. We feed off of each other. So our food, I think, that really reflects our character. And then staying true to our roots in things like the medianoche one. That's my favorite sandwich. So, those were things that Alec wanted a arroz con leche one. That was his idea. He was like, I want an arroz con leche. I love arroz con leche. So I was like, let's do it. So it's kind of my job to take all those kind of inspirations between both of us and make it happen.
So you're the test kitchen?
I'm the test
I'm
kitchen.
just letting you know that whenever you guys are coming up with new flavors, if you need taste testers,
We'll call you.
You call us.
You know how to get a hold of me.
It's on tape.
Sure.
You call us.
Yes. And if you want, we can put it out to the public. We can have them vote. We can figure this out. We'll work it out. So, I know you guys mentioned, you have a lot of different croquetas. Can you give us just a quick rundown for our listeners of all the flavors you guys have here? Because it's... you do savory and sweet, which was what I loved
Right.
when I first came here. I was like, obviously I expected a croqueta, but then you're like, oh no, they have dessert croquetas. I'm like, and I'm sold. Like, bring it. But
Okay, we're gonna start with the traditional ham croqueta.
Okay.
Which we pair with our house-made cilantro sauce. By the way, we make all of our sauces in house, aka even our ranch sauce we make ourselves.
Really?
We do not do anything from a bottle. Again, the same thing that we want to create something that you don't feel like crap after eating it. The same thing we want. We're putting our names to this. Like, I want it to be my sauce. This isn't anyone else's sauce. So ham, and then our most popular is a 305, which is a ground beef picadillo, queso blanco, and platanito maduro. It's delicious. It's like having a whole Cuban plate.
it's una completa in your mouth. Oh my God, it's a breaded completa. It's so good.
The night is young.
Yes.
And then we pair that with our dale sauce, shout out to Pitbull, which is our guava aioli sauce. After that, we have a Mexican street corn, which is roasted corn with quesadilla and cotija cheese. We literally roast hundreds of pounds of corn. We mix it with quesadilla and cotija cheese and a nice little bechamel base with a little bit of polenta. It's delicious. And we pair that up with our chili lime crema sauce we make in house. I'll let you take some also, because I can't. There's so many.
Man, for somebody who didn't know anything about croquetas 3 or 4 years ago, you've
I'm,
come a long way.
I'm in it right now. I'm deep in it.
He's deep in it. Yeah, I was worried at the very beginning, but
I would be too.
I was worried because I'm used to hard work, but he was really right alongside of me, working and cleaning and cooking and doing everything with me as well too. And
And you guys are family.
Yeah,
Because that could
my
go
baby nephew.
that could go really well or really bad.
We hear it all the time. Never do business with your family, right? Everyone hears that, but I've had the best experience with you. It's been awesome. Like, we're both fun. Like, we want to drink, we want to have a good time, we want to make things that we want to eat ourselves.
Right.
So we really almost never butt heads, which is very surprising.
Right. A lot of it is. We both share the same motto, as in just get it done.
Right.
And so we work hard, we play hard. So it's just when it's time to work, we work.
Claro.
And there's nothing there's no oh, I do more, you do more. It's just we both work really hard. But going back to the croquetas, we do a mac cheese and bacon croqueta.
So damn good.
So that's coated in a crispy Parmesan crust. It's really creamy. It's got a lot of bacon flavor and stuff. We do a bacon cheddar burger one too. Speaking of bacon, we do a bacon cheddar burger, and that one is super flavorful. I make my own spice blend as well too for the burger. We do a buffalo cracked chicken. That one is also another fan favorite.
Is that one of your best sellers? Because people swear by
It's
it.
like crack.
It's crack.
That's
It's
why
crack. There's a reason
So,
it's called
let
crack.
me tell you something.
Whitney Houston would come back from the grave and have it. It's just that good.
I actually love that one, and I don't even like buffalo sauce.
So a lot
I don't
of
eat
people,
buffalo
right,
wings.
So a lot of people are like, oh, I don't do anything spicy. I'm like, it's spicy, but it's not super spicy. It's not
I agree.
overwhelmingly
I don't like spicy. I don't like spicy, and I like that croqueta.
So exactly, it's just got a right amount of spice. It's a warming. But that one's 100% chicken breast too. So we're not using So I am chopping pounds and pounds of
It's
chicken
gonna be
breast.
hundreds of pounds of grilled
chicken
chicken.
breast. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's why it is partly a labor of love. What's the other one? We have the sweet ones as well too. So
we finish all savory
do we do all the savory ones? Am I missing something?
305 Mac.
It's.
and
I mean, I don't know your menu, but I know your menu, and it
then
sounded
the
thorough.
medianoche. So our latest one is the medianoche, which was just awesome, winning Croqueta Palooza.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was just. I'm really not a competitive person, but when we won, I was like, damn, this feels good.
I don't know if I believe you.
not.
You're a hard
Honestly,
worker. I don't know.
I am a hard worker, but I am also a kumbaya
Okay,
loving.
okay.
I am like I love everyone. You know, I'm like maybe not so hugging, but but I'm just all about like about the love. So, but when I won, I was just like, damn, this was good. It was really nice. But that one is the medianoche one, which is my favorite sandwich, and I really wanted to capture all the flavors of the medianoche. So, down to the egg bread, the medianoche bread.
I still have your pictures in my phone
Oh,
from when you
that
won.
was so much fun. It was so much fun. I could not stop smiling. But that, you have the Swiss cheese, you have the mustard, you have the pickles. So a touch of all of that just comes together to really give you a good medianoche.
No, absolutely. And
Dessert one.
dessert ones.
And then
your
dessert ones.
your Oreo croqueta. As an
Who
Oreo
doesn't
lover,
love Oreos?
he doesn't love Oreos.
Really?
Not a fan.
He's not a fan.
But I haven't tried your croqueta. Maybe I'll try because I don't like buffalo. And I know
am
those.
such an
I don't think
Oreo
anyone
fan.
doesn't like Oreos.
It's like you read my mind. It's like croqueta,
Yeah.
Oreo. Just put it together. That's me in a nutshell.
Yeah, my mom, growing up, my mom used to give us, she would open up the Oreos and she would make us lick off the white parts because she wanted the chocolates. So Oreos to us, we've always had Oreos in the family, and so this was my little homage to my mom.
Oh,
That's
very
awesome.
nice.
That's
Very
awesome.
nice. So, this week, SoBe Food and Wine Festival.
Yes,
So
this comes
many
out on
events.
Friday, so it'll be tomorrow, Saturday.
Big deal.
Yes.
You guys are having a master class.
Yep.
Master class by Do Croqueta
Yep.
on how to make croquetas.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
How did that happen? How did that come up?
It's the ultimate honor. Like, first of all, her and I both freaked out when they decided to choose us for this because you never you just try your hardest, right? I mean, you just try to do your best. Like, you never think to get recognized for things until it actually happens. So we're both super honored. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So we have we have a small group of people, like 20 something people, and they're going to be learning to make a croqueta. So we're doing a special croqueta for them. It's a brunch, so they're gonna be serving prosecco, which I'm very excited about. And we're doing a leek, chorizo, and egg croqueta.
Oh my God.
You know damn right we're not coming with no ham croquetas. for this.
Oh no,
Come
fair
on.
enough.
Come
But
on.
it's like, wow, again, 3 things that I wouldn't have thought to put together in a croqueta, but now I don't want to live my life without it.
So you're gonna have it right now.
We have
because
some for you.
Is that what this is?
That's what it is.
Oh, you guys spoil us so hard.
So leek.
So there's leek, there's braised leeks, there's chorizo, crispy chorizo, and then there's chopped egg inside there. So it has like a little bit of a smoky Spanish paprika flavor to it as well
Amazing.
too.
I love
Thank
it.
you.
It's crazy.
The chorizo.
I might fight you for the remainder of yours. Just to be clear. Oh, I just like the chorizo just like hit.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Like
that's
the
so
el
good.
picantico of a
so good.
chorizo.
Very, very, yeah. So the idea is like and what I do with all of my croquetas is just really a lot of layering of flavors. So it's not just a one-note croqueta. It is, I want you to be able to taste the
That
leek.
This
what
is
I
not
think
one note. This is a
is
symphony.
amazing about your croquetas. Okay, so that was delicious. So, in the master class, so tell us.
Yeah, you guys have to put that on the menu. I'm just putting it out there. Figure it out.
Maybe a
I don't
limited
know.
edition.
Like just on Sundays for brunch.
They're teasing us. It's
Just
business.
brunch.
They know what they're doing. Okay, so in the master class, from scratch, you're gonna show people like how to do this.
I'm going to show people how to make that specific croqueta. Yeah, starting from with the bechamel, chorizo, cooking the chorizo, the leeks, everything. So,
Croqueta 101.
and then they're gonna roll the croqueta as well, which is a lot of fun too.
Right.
So like in the. So
Yeah.
what is it breaded in? This one is.
This one is breaded in panko, and it
Okay.
has some parmesan as well too.
I mean,
You
So
know.
good.
I mean, come on! It's cheese and bread.
And what was the inspiration? I mean, you said it was like kind of brunch.
It's a combination of again things that I love, So leeks, have a nice like mild flavor, and then you have the chorizo, which is always delicious, and then you adding the eggs. I love hard-boiled eggs,
Yeah.
so those are hard-boiled eggs inside there.
Right.
So they're chopped up, and it's kind of like an unexpected thing in there.
Hey, ahora que she said that, I want her to make like an egg salad croqueta.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's been said, like a deviled egg type croqueta. So
I'm sure you guys at night think about like flavors flavors. Like, oh my God,
I
this
think
and
about
that
flavors
and
all the
that.
time.
24/7.
All the time. All the time. We text each other all the time. How about this? How about that? You know, so it's fun.
Yeah. So you said 20 some people are going to be there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And are you guys going to be like this specific croqueta? You're going to be serving that also at SoBe at the Food and Wine Festival? or?
We're not going to serve that one at the festival. We're doing we're doing croquetas and cocktails that night, that same night. So we're going to do our traditional 305 croqueta, but it's going to be on an arepita slider. And so that's fun because we have the dale sauce, the guava aioli sauce, and then we do the little mariquitas on top. And so that's a little fun bite. And then the next day we're doing the Bacardi Beach Carnival. So we're doing the buffalo cracked chicken slider for that one.
Yum.
Wait, what is the cocktail you're pairing it with?
We don't do a cocktail for that. We don't.
Oh, so it's just like the
they're
bar
gonna have,
with.
Yeah, they're
okay.
gonna have plenty of. We've already seen which cocktails are next to us. So
Okay.
it's exciting.
Scoping it out,
Exactly.
huh?
I know exactly. That's basically where are we scheduled, where are we gonna be in the map, and then what's next to us. So definitely cocktails. Are next
Strategy.
To us. I love it.
I love it.
So you guys have been uber successful. You have this great spot. What's next for you guys?
Well, that's the best part, isn't it? So we're just getting started. So our brick and mortar, we actually just hit 9 months. Honestly, surpassed any tiny little idea that we thought. It just blew it out of the water. We definitely want another location before 2020 ends, so that's the plan, to open another one. And then we really one more ready. Really want to start shipping nationwide.
Okay.
Wow.
I am not exaggerating. Every week, anywhere between 10 to 15 emails, anywhere between Michigan, Texas, Chicago,
Hawaii.
Hawaii, New York,
Hawaii.
California, Orlando. People want croquetas, and our goal is to give it to them.
So we were out in California in the fall, and we went with Martha Darby from My Big Fat.
Yeah.
She
She's
actually,
That's awesome.
this was on our list because we took her around town, and this was on our list to
bring her to.
But the thing is that because she's so well known,
Right.
when she came here, she
Yeah,
had
vino con-
invitations
Of
from
course,
everybody.
of
So
course.
she literally was going to 4 or 5 places a day eating.
Right.
I'm like, esta mujer le va a dar algo while she's in Miami. But
And we're in charge
but
of
she
her.
was so upset that she wasn't able to make it on here. But the reason I'm stating that is because when we were in LA, it's incredible, stuff we take for granted, pastelitos,
Right.
croquetas.
It's amazing.
Because over there they have portos.
Portos, yeah.
Which is amazing. Portos is great, but it's different.
Es lo mismo pero diferente.
It's not
It's a turnover.
a cheese roll.
It's a turnover. Exactly. It's a Danish. It's a turnover Danish. I get it. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
But when you're out there and you're
Oh,
starved for
it's
that,
gets a fix.
it does the
Oh
job.
my God, it's
Right,
amazing.
right.
But there's definitely an audience for that because
Right.
I'm sure any Cuban or especially Caribbean people that live over there will kill for one of these croquetas
Right.
to have at home. So that would be great. Vicky Bakery, I know, just started doing their
They're shipping
pastelitos,
the
yeah.
pastelitos, right?
pastelitos. Yeah.
Can you imagine you get home one day, it's a snowstorm in the middle of Madison, Wisconsin, and
My
on the
croquetas
doorstep,
came.
is a
Absolutely.
box from Dos Croquetas and another box from Vicky's Bakery.
Coño.
That would be the happiest day of my life.
Life is
Tremendo
good.
combo.
Yeah, I would be like, you know what? Que sigan nevando. I don't
Now,
care.
if you have a way of shipping your shakes,
Oh, our shades.
your colada shake, caballero, it is a freaking Cuban coffee in a
colada
milkshake.
the guava and cinnamon toast crunch shake.
I think it has to do with our ethos. It's about getting the best product possible and working with it. I don't want preservatives in my food. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in food that's stretched out to make more of it. I want the best ingredients and I want to make it fucking delicious.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm gonna give you guys credit because, to your point, it's quality ingredients. But you know what? You're not expensive.
Yeah.
You're not expensive, which proves that you can make a quality.
You can make it happen.
You can make a quality product that people love.
Right.
Okay, and it doesn't have to break the bank.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
you
yeah.
guys are proof of that.
You're not paying $5 per croqueta.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I mean, we also, the things that we're using for our shakes, we make our own whipped cream as well too. So it's not out of a bag. It's not, out of a can.
Thank you
as
for
well,
not using
too.
Cool Whip.
Terrible.
I'm not I can't stand that. Just the fact that it comes out of an aerosol can, I don't, that's my thing. I'm a little bit, bougie in that sense. but it's really more about the taste. It's the clean taste of it. So those are things that we try to do with our product, where we're not greedy. I think that's the thing, and we're not greedy people in the sense that I need to like make the most profit on a certain product, because I want to really give a good quality product. I want somebody to just be really happy, and that's part of the whole croqueta experience. From the moment you walk in to being greeted, to like somebody that's being friendly, that's going to explain the menu, because we have so many people that come and they look at the menu and they're like, this is just so overwhelming, because they don't understand. It's their first time here, so it takes a little bit of time to kind of like go through the menu for them to understand, and then you're getting a great quality product where they're just like, okay, now I get it. Now when they leave, they're like, I get it. The music, the friendly service.
That's why it's an experience.
It's an experience.
It's an experience.
And again, as two boys who literally, like, his parents are off of La 112 over there, and mine are off
We
of
went to Southwest High School.
102nd.
So did I.
You went Southwest?
Yes.
Eagle?
Oh, okay.
Yes, Eagle
So
Pride.
Yeah.
we know this area.
Right, born and raised.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you
it's-
purposely set out to
Yeah.
open on
Yeah, I
Bird
mean,
Road?
these are our stomping grounds. So born and raised
Because
here.
I feel
and-
that Bird Road now is having like a renaissance.
It's popping.
Like a
Yeah.
bird renaissance.
100%.
Like you guys, Martha of Miami, Mojo
yeah.
Donuts,
Yeah.
Burger Beast, and then you have the staples like Arbetters and Frankie's and all
Right,
that.
right.
Like
There wasn't a lot of stuff. The idea was to kind of have something that was, also late night or middle of the day.
Because
There's
you guys
not
are
a
open
lot
till
of
like
stuff.
2 a.m. on weekends.
Till 1 a.m.
1 a.m. I gotta get some sleep. All right.
1 a.m.
Sleep's overrated.
But 7 days a week, yeah. So the idea was to have something that you don't have to, in a beautiful setting where you don't have to go drive to Wynwood. You don't have to have something.
Right.
You have your cocktails. You can have your croquetas. You can have. It's a nice family environment, but at the same time, you can still party as well too.
Yeah. So, bueno, guys, again, we wish you, you have success, but continued success.
Thank you.
And I mean, what you've done is so awesome. Like, it's like you didn't reinvent the wheel, but at the same time you did, Because, yes, it is a croqueta. We all know croqueta, but at the same time, it's like a completely different experience because you packaged a croqueta with, again, the establishment, the experience. You have a ventanita, only in Miami will you have a croqueta spot with a ventanita.
Yeah, and every episode, we always end every episode by giving a last soda of the desert, la última Coca-Cola del desierto. This episode, we're going to give it to you guys.
Thank
For
you.
number one, like we said earlier, it's a great product, it's a great business, and this and that, but for being you.
Yeah.
Thank
For
you.
being people who are genuinely, in the community, about the community.
And I like it even more now that I know you went to Southwest.
Hey.
Oh, yeah,
Because
no,
it's like
no,
you kept it
no,
local.
no, that's just
because-
family.
No, because
Obviously.
she could have opened up in Wynwood, the
like
hip and
everybody and
happening
their mother,
place,
yeah, yeah,
And-
but that makes it even better. Like
Yeah.
you wanted to keep it, within again the community.
Yeah.
Right.
And we celebrate that a lot. That's our big thing. Is we're Miami boys, born and raised. We're always going to be about who's doing what in the community and bringing it forward. So our last soda for this episode goes to both of you guys.
Thank you. Thank you guys too, also for doing what you're doing as well too. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's important to
Right.
bring light to
That's
to the community as well too.
purpose of our podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
Our motto is listen, laugh, and learn. We want people to have a good time and laugh and, laugh at our stupidness and silliness. But we want people to get something out of it, whether it's something that they learn or, like this. Because people come here, they see your croquetas, they see establishment, but there's a story behind it. There's
It's
work
like, how
behind
do you
it.
separate the company from the people? Like,
Yeah.
that's
Right.
there's always people behind the company.
Yeah, there's a
It's really
story
important.
behind it, and every story is like so important because,
Absolutely.
as you said, here you are now. You're like the freaking king of croquetas, and 4 years ago you didn't know how to make a
grilled
croqueta,
cheese.
Exactly.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for being on the show, and again, best of luck at SoBe this week. You guys are gonna rock
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you for keeping me fat.
Yeah.
And
always.
everybody, as we always say, listen, laugh, and learn. We hope you grab your actually that is our outro
outro.
line is grab your croqueta, your pastelito, and your jupiña.
Damn right.
And thank you for joining us. That was episode 98. So thank you so much, guys.
All right, caballero. Bye.
Pero Let Me Tell You is co-hosted by Darian Borges and Ismaeliano, produced by Ismaeliano, and our theme, Pero Let Me Tell You Freestyle, is composed by Michael Angelo Lambleplex, the official gay guy. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on iTunes.